I would like to welcome administration, teachers, and members of the board. Family and friends watching from home, although you cannot be here in person, thank you for supporting the class of 2020. You have raised us into the people we are today. Thank you, Mr. Gregory and Mr. Olson, for helping our unique class be together on this special day. Most importantly, welcome class of 2020. Strength, persistence, and grit will forever bond us together. On August 23rd, we joined together in the senior parking lot to begin our final Friday Night Lights, homecoming halftime shows, senior night sporting events, musicals, DECA, FBLA, and forensic competitions, along with so many other activities that has built the class of 2020's cadet culture. Throughout our 4 years of high school, our award-winning marching band has been invited to perform in the Rose Bowl parade. Our boys varsity soccer team has won 2 state championships, along with our JROTC also winning a state championship. Although we did not win our junior year or senior year Powder Puff game, the talent and knowledge that the class of 2020 brings to the table is unmatched. While portraying these qualities, the class of 2020 will be leaders, people of resilience and character that will build the future of America. Parents, staff, family, and friends, we could not have done it without you. We are strong, persistent, and full of grit. From August 23rd in the senior parking lot to June 22nd in our graduation seats, as one door opens and another one closes, class of 2020, go out and make your mark. Thank you.
Congratulations to you, the class of 2020. You made it. From the first day of your freshman year through the great toilet paper shortage of 2020, it has come down to this. I am so proud of you and what you have accomplished. During this time, it is important to give thanks to all of those who have helped you on your journey. I would like to thank the dedicated staff of Air Academy High School for all of the time they have spent encouraging you, teaching, guiding, and mentoring you. Outstanding teachers like the 2020 Air Academy High School Teacher of the Year, Mr. Glenn Hoyt, and the 2020 Senior Selected Teacher of the Year, and today's guest speaker, Mr. Jason Bueller. I would like to give a sincere and heartfelt thank you to all of the parents and guardians who have helped you along this journey and have guided you to where you are today. Most of all, seniors, I would like to thank you. Thank you for your commitment to the school and for helping create the best culture and environment possible. Thank you for 4 outstanding years. Your class has accomplished great things. In your 4 years, you have won state championships in girls cross country, girls track and field, and boys soccer twice. You have been state marching band champs twice. You have marched in the Rose Parade and have performed at Carnegie Hall in New York City. You have done incredible things. As a class, you have earned over $10 million in scholarships and have been selected to some of the most prestigious colleges and universities in the nation. You have definitely left a mark on Air Academy High School and certainly on me. I will miss you all very much. I will miss watching you perform, like hearing a great sax solo by Thomas Elgis, or watching a beautiful silk performance high above the auditorium stage by Michaela Hine. I will miss hearing you sing like Zachary Ridding and Molly Giberson perform in front of a standing-only crowd. I will miss watching our actors and actresses like Isaac Whitaker and Aubrey Miller become fully immersed in their characters. I will miss watching you on the field and on the courts, like Christian Jones pancaking a defensive lineman or Kylie Blackston taking that game-winning shot. I will miss watching athletes like Kelton, Aiden, and Thaddeus play soccer. I don't think I will miss watching Thad and the boys dress up in cheerleader uniforms anytime soon. I will miss watching JROTC cadets like Loudon Archuleta and Andrew Pixley leading our young students. I will miss Mita's social media posts and watching all of you work extremely hard in class. I will miss having students like Haley Payne try to teach me calculus lessons. Good luck with that. I will miss watching students like Julia Gentry and Hope Crawford Guerna lead and create clubs which support and value all. You two young ladies inspire me to be a better person. I will miss hearing from our transfer and choice students like Olivia Jacobson talk about how much they love Air Academy and how happy they are to be here. I will miss my meetings with the student council leadership team, Sydney, Maddie, Megan, Will, Millie, Reagan, Kane, Audrey, Alexis, Caroline, Alana, Lena, and Austin. You all did such an amazing job leading our student body, and I can't thank you enough. I will miss hearing from an extremely enthusiastic Julia Fenn talk about a great lecture she had just heard or how she did in her latest forensics competition. Most of all, I will miss just hanging out and talking to you in the halls, the little moments that mean so much to me. I will miss seeing my hallway homie Eli Andrew and talking about our similar tastes in music and concerts we have been to. I will miss talking to our front office aides like Naheem Collins Sanders and Layla Solis, even though she told me I looked like her grandpa. I will miss making the TikTok videos with students like Amanda Abbott and hearing all about fire alarms and Queen from Ryan Cricker. I could go on and on and on about how much I'm going to miss you. I will miss you more than you will ever know. You have done amazing things and you have done outstanding things at Air Academy High School. Class of 2020, you are an amazing group of people, and I can't wait to see you change the world. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce the Superintendent of Academy District 20, Mr. Tom Gregory. Born and raised in Academy District 20, Mr. Gregory has a passion for education and the educational process and thrives on helping others succeed. He was a classroom teacher for 11 years, a school administrator for 4, and just completed his 14th year as a leader for the business operations at Academy 20 in 2019. He joined the Academy District 20 staff in 1991 as a middle school teacher at Challenger Middle School. Shortly after, he transferred to Rampart High School, where he served for 11 years as a math teacher, math department co-chair, football coach, softball coach, baseball coach, and finally, as the Rampart Assistant Principal and Athletic Director for 4 of those 11 years. Mr. Gregory became our Chief Financial Officer in 2009 and served in that capacity until 2016, when he was named the Deputy Superintendent, Chief Financial Officer. He earned his master's degree in educational leadership and his principal licensure from the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. He earned his bachelor's degree in mathematics and his secondary school teacher licensure from the University of Southern Colorado. Please join me in welcoming our amazing superintendent, Mr. Tom Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Olson, for the introduction, and a virtual congratulations to the Air Academy High School graduating class of 2020. Before I begin my comments, I would like to recognize the folks who commit time and energy to make education possible and successful in the District 20 community. The Academy District 20 Board of Education. President, Ms. Karen Reynolds. Vice President, Mr. Doug Lundberg. Treasurer, Tom LaValle, and also the Air Academy High School Liaison. Director, Mr. Will Timby. Director, Mrs. Heather Cloninger. And Air Force Academy Liaison to the Board of Education, Colonel Troy Harding. Additionally, from Central Administration, our high school administrator, Dr. Jim Smith, Assistant Superintendent for Administrative Services. During the past weeks and months, many of you have reached out and shared your hopes for today. While this ceremony may not look how we imagined, I want to thank each of you for your flexibility, resilience, and positivity. I would also like to thank Air Academy High School Class of 2020 student Sydney Barnes for giving your time to my Student Advisory Council. Your honest feedback and insightful input have helped improve our district and community. Thank you, Sydney. Graduates, you have spent the last 13 years deepening your knowledge of subjects like math, science, social studies, reading, and writing. At the same time, you formed friendships, discovered passions, and dreamed of your future. Today, as you finish the first chapters of your life's biography, we celebrate this milestone. High school graduation is the true beginning of adulthood. It is the most significant academic accomplishment of your developing story. As you begin to write the adult chapters of your biography, I hope, above all, it includes the lifelong acquisition of knowledge, love of country, and kindness to others. But before we look forward, let's take a moment and reflect on what will likely be one of the most unusual chapters of your biography. 2020 has not been typical and will not be a chapter easily glossed over. In so many ways, this was not a usual year. From numerous weather cancellations and delays, to adding time to the school day, to missing out on many final events and activities, you have been asked to sacrifice much. Your last days and months of school together, you have been asked to sacrifice your final assemblies and other recognitions with your peers, senior activities such as prom, senior breakfast, and senior sunset, and final sports seasons, theatrical productions, and concerts. And now you are sacrificing a traditional graduation ceremony. While this has been difficult and not the way you imagined your senior year to end, you are not the first class of graduates asked to make sacrifice. In fact, you can find comfort that you are in good company. Many who came before and at your exact age made more significant sacrifice. Several generations before you, graduates were drafted to serve and defend our liberties and freedoms in times of war. More specifically, the graduating classes of the greatest generation were forced to make substantial sacrifices multiple times during the Great Depression and then again a few years later during World War II. While your obligations are different, just like them, it has been your time to sacrifice. More importantly, it is your time to recover and move forward. They paved the way, and I'm confident you will harness the same grit, determination, and ingenuity. It is during times of hardship and crisis when hope, innovation, and community are born. As you begin to fill your blank pages, I ask that you don't get so consumed by your pursuits that you forget to be a good person. This may sound simple, but being a good person presents significant challenges. Think back to kindergarten, where you learned some important lessons. According to Robert Fulghum, author of the book All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, you learned the most important rules of life when you were in kindergarten. And they were not about reading, writing, or arithmetic. You learned what is most important about how to live, what to do, and how to be. In kindergarten, you learned to share, to play fair, to not hit people, to put things back where you found them, to clean up your own mess, not take things that aren't yours, say sorry when you hurt somebody, to not lie or cheat, flush when your business is complete, take a nap every afternoon, and most relevant today, to wash your hands often. What you learned in kindergarten is to be a good person. Similarly, when songwriter Lori McKenna was frustrated because her children would not listen to her, she determined to write down her guidance in the form of lyrics to a song. Maybe this would get her kids' attention, she thought. Her song was later recorded by country artist Tim McGraw entitled Humble and Kind. Now her kids and the rest of the world learn from her simple but impactful and principled words. I'd like to share a few words that you may be familiar with from that song. She writes, "Hold the door, say please and say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come true, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying. Always stay humble and kind." This is my challenge for each of you. Be a good person. Remember to say please and to say thank you. Stay humble and kind as you climb the mountains to your dreams. Today you are moving forward and beginning to script not just chapters, but volumes of your biography. And as you do, be sure to thank those who helped you get here while you take time to celebrate your achievements. Congratulations, Air Academy High School Class of 2020. I wish you a successful, hopeful, and fulfilling future. Be well and be safe. Thank you. Mr. Olson, I hand the podium back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Gregory. It is now my honor to welcome the graduate presenting the summa cum laude address, Ms. Heather Buscher.
Welcome, administration, teachers, friends, family, and graduates. We're here to mourn the loss of our second semester of our senior year. But most importantly, we're here to celebrate the 12.75 years of in-class education that has brought us to this moment. I do have to say, there has been one thing over the past 4 years that I have not enjoyed: our class color. I hate yellow. But even with my hatred, it became our class color. So, during my freshman year, reluctantly dressed from head to toe in my least favorite color, I developed a theory. Of all things, the theory of yellow. You see, colors are usually connected to a certain feeling. For example, blue and sadness, red and anger. Yellow is happiness. Continuing with my theory, I created a scale of yellow. On one end is the yellow school bus, dirtied from thousands of school trips, followed by sandstorm and mustard, then sunshine, and finally, gold. With recent events, maybe I should consider adding hazmat suit yellow. Anyway, my theory uses this scale to determine the level of happiness one is experiencing. Individual moments are the makeup of life, and each of these moments consists of a shade of yellow. Therefore, life itself exists within the scale of yellow, because it is the composite shades of each day that tint the hue of life. As a class, we have ridden the dirty school bus on multiple occasions, losing powder puff 2 years in a row, extending school because of too many snow days, not to mention experiencing a global pandemic. However, we have walked in sunshine through winning state championships in soccer and band, waking up at the crack of dawn to deck the halls in yellow, being blessed with a new library, field, gym, and B building. But we have never reached gold. No one has. Gold is a subjective, perfect state, and the process of trying to reach perfection makes us better. Yes, today was great, but tomorrow could be greater. That's the whole point of my theory. Striving for something unattainable pushes us beyond our limits to reach for something that always has the possibility to be better. It forces us to work harder and have a greater appreciation of our personal milestones. Although falling short of gold appears to be a failure, it merely brightens the sunshine. Riding the dirty school bus and reaching for gold go hand in hand. You cannot truly appreciate the potential of gold without first scrubbing off a thick layer of dirt. When you push through the darkest, hardest parts of your life, and recently, we've all been through them, you appreciate every little thing more. It's when you're locked in your house, not allowed to leave, when you beg for the things you used to complain about the most. I would do anything to park in the school parking lot again, or to even sit through an hour-long lecture in a classroom, just so I can be closer than 6 feet to someone. Although we have missed so much time together, we must focus on our next steps. Now that we are free to do what we dream of, it is time to make our impact. It is time to make your life that Netflix show that people binge watch until 2 in the morning. It is time to make your life a story people wish they could live. In a few months, we will be sprinkled across the country, maybe even the world, doing a variety of different things. A few of us will keep in touch, but this is most likely the last time we will all be together. So, Wherever you go, whatever you do, paint it gold. Class of 2020, we did it. Thank you.
Hello, District 20 dignitaries, Air Academy administrators, parents, family, and friends. But most importantly, hello, Air Academy class of 2020. Or should I call you the class of COVID-19? Of course not. You are all individuals in the Air Academy class of 2020. Unfortunately, however, a lot of people will define the class of 2020, not only at Air Academy High School or the other D20 high schools, but every graduating class in the world this spring as the class of COVID-19. But they will be wrong. And they will be wrong because, while I haven't had the good fortune of getting to know every one of you, I do know enough about you to know that you aren't going to be defined by a pandemic or anything or anyone else. You will be defined by only one person, you. As I mentioned, I haven't had the ability to get to know all of you. The truth is that not only haven't I gotten to know most of you, I haven't even met a lot of you. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jason Bueller, or Bueller for those that have taken engineering classes. One of the Project Lead the Way engineering teachers here at Air Academy High School, and a proud KDET alum of the class of 1988. And since I teach a specialized elective, I've probably met less than, I'm gonna say, a fifth of you, which is why I was surprised to learn that I had received this honor. So before I go on, I want to give a quick shout out to my honors engineering design and development students this year. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much for all you did for me to receive this honor. But enough about me. Let's get back to the topic at hand, how you have and will define yourselves. Over the past 4 years, you have defined yourselves as academic, athletic, and artistic champions. You have defined yourselves to be loyal friends, yet somehow fiercely independent at the same time, dedicated students and community supporters, among a great many other things. The number of hours your class has spent volunteering in our community is utterly staggering. And the things you have done during this pandemic are truly amazing. Ms. Cullen shared with the staff a partial list of the ways that you have contributed to the well-being of our community since the end of March. And well, all I can say is, wow. Great job, cadets. And that's how you've defined yourself so far, as true cadets. Well, what actually is a cadet? During your time at Air Academy, or longer for some of you, you have been asked that same question over and over again. And you've struggled through trying to answer. You may have used that awkward description of a baby falcon that carries a club, or saying that it's not really a thing, it's more of an homage to the Air Force Academy Falcons, or maybe used one of many, many other descriptions. But none of them seemed satisfying. And I know that, because I've been asked the same question for the last 36 years. But what I've come to realize during that time is that a cadet really isn't a physical thing, like a ram, or an eagle, or a lancer, or a thunder. Well, they may have a hard time defining that one as well. To me, a cadet is a state of mind and a way of thinking. A cadet is all of those things that you have already done. Giving your best, following your dreams and passions, being a good friend, being a good family and community member, or as we older guys might say, just rocking it. After most of his announcements, Mr. Olson says, as always, it's good to be a cadet. Well, now that has two meanings. First, it's good to be part of a community called the cadets, and it's good to be defined as a cadet, given our previous definition. Your definition was started by your family and added to by your friends, teachers, and coaches. Now you've added cadet to it. But that is just the beginning. After this graduation, you will move on to the next chapter in your life and add to that definition. Some of you will add student, or artist, or musician, or soldier, or mechanic, or one of a million other things. And then, after that, there will be a multitude of additions. Maybe you'll add engineer, or business tycoon, or stay-at-home parent, or rock star, or even President of the United States. But just remember that from here on out, only you get to decide what gets added to your definition. And again, I didn't get to meet all of you, but what I know about those I did get to meet, and hopefully inspired some additions to their individual definitions. And from what I've heard from the staff here at Air Academy, you are all heading into what the Klingon Chancellor Gorkon described as the undiscovered country, the future, with a very strong initial definition onto which you can add. Yeah, that was a Star Trek reference by an engineering teacher. I know. Anyway, now, Cadet Class of 2020, go forth and be productive. Thank you, and best of luck as you add to your definition.
Whether we like to admit it or not, everyone had that one class they looked forward to in high school. Maybe it was racket sports, your math class, or, yeah, even your morning partial. My favorite class was art history. The title of one of the paintings we studied in this class has since haunted me, in a good way. The piece is by Paul Gauguin and is titled, "Where do we come from? What are we doing? Where are we going?" These questions are so simple, yet they carry the weight of something deeper, something more complex. These questions yearn for insight and feed off our identities. They depend on who we think we are. And what a better time than now, especially now, to reflect on how our time at Air Academy High School and how the toll of these past few months allows us to confidently answer these questions. Where do we come from? Well, we all figured that out in health class. But aside from this, doesn't the answer kind of depend on the person? Maybe you come from your parents. Maybe you come from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Or maybe you come from someone or someplace completely unique and special to you. Ultimately, though, we all hold a similarity in coming from one common place. Air Academy is where we come from. In those hallowed halls, we morphed from dweeby freshmen into pretty cocky seniors. In the courtyard, we pelted snowballs at each other on the way to class. In classrooms, we determine the people that make us better and bring out the best sides of our diverse personalities. At lunch, we created memories with laughs that will last a lifetime. We come from Air Academy High School, and her reputation is something we can carry with pride as we embark on the next part of our lives. We are now equipped with the knowledge, skills, and character essential to being a responsible citizen of our new communities, our nation, and the world. What are we doing? Every high schooler has asked themselves this question at least once on a daily basis. And in all reality, I don't think any of us actually know what we are doing today. But that's exactly where we should be. What are we doing implies the present. But the question we really should be asking about is the past. What did we do? What we did in high school defines our glory days. One day, we're going to tell our kids about winning back-to-back state soccer championships, barely getting an A in that one class that challenged you more than anything, qualifying for nationals in DECA, marching in the Rose Bowl parade, or that super cheesy, but actually really cute promposal you either came up with or accepted. What defines high school for you? Sports? Academics? Band? Theater? Friends? Faith? TikTok? What we did in high school has sculpted us into who we have become today. Who we are is embedded in what we did. Who are you? What wish does your heart whisper at night before you drift to sleep? Who does your soul cry out for you to be? Who we are and what we did in high school has imprinted us for the rest of our lives. But surely, imprints can fade. Now we experience a blank slate. We can become someone entirely different or stay the same. And that's the beauty of our identities. They ebb and flow, they stagnate, they plateau, they rise and they fall. Like the currents of the ocean, they clash and dance whimsically across our lives. Remember who you were and what you did in high school. Be unafraid of the change you will surely endure throughout the rest of your life, and the changes forced upon us right now. But above all, find peace in the revolutions you will surely commence inside your heart, and remember how resilient you are to life's challenges. Where are we going? We are going into the next phase of our lives. As a class, we are going to all four corners of Colorado, to California, Massachusetts, Hawaii, Tennessee, North Carolina, Oregon, and so many more amazing and new places. Some of us are going to college to study incredible things and become game changers in certain career fields. Some of us are going right into the workforce, determined to rebuild our nation. Some of us are enlisting, and some of us are taking a break for a year or two, both with the ultimate goal of selfless serving. No matter what, where we are going is glimmering brightly with the hope of a nouvelle future, and the class of 2020 is now, more than ever, built to embrace this future triumphantly. The class of 2020 has endured unimaginable hardship, but no other class would have handled the obstacles set against them with the grace and dignity we have. Where the world only sees brokenness and devastation for seniors, we don't. We rise above it. Like Maya Angelou, still we rise above self-pity, still we rise above displaced anger, and still we rise above vengeance for the loss of our last 3 months of high school. Our tenacity, our perseverance proves we will only continue to rise throughout the rest of our lives. This year, we have had the ultimate test of answering where do we come from, what are we doing, and where are we going. These past few months, we haven't had a clear answer. But remember, these questions depend on who we think we are, and after everything we have gone through, not just these past few months, but these past 12 years, the cadets of the class of 2020 will go down in infamy for no reason other than we are cemented in who we are, and we have a resounding and roaring power that creates and yearns for the brightest futures possible. Nothing can nor ever will change that. We are still rising. Thank you.
Thank you, Mackie. And now, it is with great pride that I present the members of the class of 2020 to Mr. LaValle and the Board of Education. I hereby certify that these young men and women have met the requirements for graduation from Air Academy High School, Academy 20, and the state of Colorado, and are recommended for their diplomas.
On behalf of the Board of Education of Academy District 20, I accept with pride and pleasure the 2020 graduating class of Air Academy High School. Mr. Olson, thank you and your staff for an outstanding job.
Class of 2020, we did it. The turning of the tassel represents turning the final page on this chapter of our lives. While we move on to the next, it is my hope that you carry all the memories made at Air Academy with you, as they have made us who we are today. With that said, Class of 2020, please rise.